You're not in the economic crisis, but you're definitely not going to survive it or succeed in it. These days I'm getting a lot of questions about the global economic crisis. And after, is it real? The most popular question and common question people ask me is to try to explain it. My response is usually something like this. On one side, you've got a global liquidity problem. On the other side, you've got a problem with all of the markets around the world having problems, everything from recession to unemployment. There's GDP problems, there's capital expenditure problems. And by about that time, the executives so many times look at me with a blank stare on their face like I've lost my mind. And the reason for the blank stare is not because they disagree, it's because they don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And here's what I just don't get. How is it possible so many executives and even business owners have no idea what's going on in the market and they didn't see this economic slowdown and recession coming? You know, come to think of it, maybe that's one of the reasons why we're stuck in this situation in the first place. There's no doubt that we're in a global economic recession. No doubt about it. That's the one thing that all the experts agree on now. Of course, every expert has a different opinion on how long it's going to last and how it will affect each one of us personally. Here's what bothers me. Most of the executives out there and managers on all levels really don't have a grasp on this. You know, a lot of them think, well, their job is not finance or their job is not, something connected to the economy, so really they don't need to be informed. Nothing could be more far from the truth. The reality is that no matter what level of an executive you are or a manager you are, your job requires you making decisions about the company and for the company that's going to affect the organization and its people. And I just don't understand how you can effectively do that if you're not into the crisis, meaning not understanding it. Look, if you want to survive and succeed in this crisis, you've got to jump into it and understand what's going on out there. Now, of course, there's different opinions, but that's one of the reasons why you got to be in it, so you can make your own educated opinion about what the crisis is and what it means for you and your company. Let me give you a couple of practical suggestions on how you can get into this crisis so that you can use it to your advantage. Number one, learn the terminology. Especially if you don't have a background in economic and finance, take the time to understand the words that the media is using and the business community is using about the crisis. And look, if you don't understand what the words mean, the information is useless. Second suggestion, keep up to date. Things are changing so rapidly and so quickly, you need to make sure that the information you have is current. And I'm not talking about monthly. Heck, I'm not even talking about weekly. I would suggest keeping up to date every single day. Doesn't matter what position you are as an executive. You need to know what's going on. Your people are going to have questions. And if you're really going to help them and your company, you need to give them answers, make decisions. And look, I don't think you want to look like a jerk or an idiot, do you? Third suggestion, make sure that you get information about what's going on globally. Don't care about your market only. Definitely need to consider about all the world. I know that's a daunting task, but look, everything's interconnected. And what's going on in China or the United States or Brazil could have an impact on your local economy. Fourth suggestion, make sure that you get information from multiple sources. Don't just read your local newspaper or your local internet portal. Get a variety of information from sources, not only in your market, but from the outside too. It'll give you a more balanced perspective of what's going on. Because remember, not all the experts agree, and you need to hear everybody's perspective. And this brings me to my final suggestion, and this is very important. Get perspectives from everybody. Do not, and I caution you here, do not only get the perspective from one type of ideology or from one type of source that you're most close to. There are bloggers out there that I read all the time that believe the world's coming to an end. I don't think that we're coming to an end. I see great opportunity for those that want to take advantage of it. But still, I want to know what the crazy people, at least from my perspective, are thinking about and talking about. Because otherwise, I can't see the big picture. And if I can't make a decision based on the big picture, whatever decision I make is not going to be a very good one. And remember, even though the crisis is bad, It doesn't have to necessarily be bad for you. The purpose of getting all the information about the crisis and getting into it is so that you can make better decisions about the opportunities you find in front of you. I really believe that there are opportunities in every crisis, and my mantra for the crisis is to find those opportunities. And I can promise you, the more information you have and the more into the crisis you are, the better chance you'll have of not only being able to survive the crisis, but also be able to see success in it.